We tend to measure our self-worth and our value as a person based on our titles, based on our achievements. But the problem with this is we're only good as our latest hit. It's the saying that don't tell me what you've done, tell me what you're going to do. And the problem with this is when your self-worth is tied to your performance, it's more difficult to take risks. The reason why is because if you fail by not reaching your goal, then your own self-worth is damaged. You fail as a person, as a human being. You see, we too often identify ourselves based on what we do instead of who we are. But real confidence and real power comes when you act out of who you are instead of what you do. Let me give you an example. If your self-worth is tied to your performance, then think about the added stress and the added pressure that you put on yourself when you sit down to take an exam. I mean, that exam that you're taking is no longer a measure of what you've learned over the last semester, right? That exam is now a measure of your value as a person, whether or not you're good enough as a person, whether or not you have what it takes, whether or not you have value. Wow, I mean, talk about high stakes testing. No wonder you're stressed out by exams. No wonder you aren't performing at the level you want to. You see, when you have a strong sense of self-worth, you don't mind taking risks because failing doesn't mean that you are a failure. Many of you right now think that your future happiness and your self-worth is riding on how well you perform in law school. I mean, you have to do well. You've always done well. You have to be at the top of your class. You have to get the job with the top firm so you can make a lot of money, get the cool car and the big house, and finally be happy, right? Average is never good enough for you. But I have a secret for you. If you don't believe right now that you are good enough, no accomplishment, no job, no promotion, no title will ever be able to make you feel like you are. If you want to reach your full potential and really have true confidence, then your self-worth has to be rooted in who you are and not what you do. This means that your words, your thoughts, and your actions line up with your values and your beliefs. At the end of your life, people are going to remember who you were much more than what you did. That's why the funeral of a multimillionaire with a long list of achievements can be sparsely attended, and the funeral of a poor housekeeper who genuinely loved others can be overflowing with visitors from miles away. You see, confident people don't try to be someone or something they are not. They're authentic. They're real. They're comfortable with themselves and their ability. Their self-worth is rooted in their own values and beliefs, not in the approval of others or their latest achievement or the popular trends. So if you want to develop confidence, take a deep breath and stop trying to accomplish something so you can be good enough. You see, you don't need to be in the top of your class to be good enough. You don't need to get that job to be good enough. You don't need to date that person to be good enough. You don't need to win that award to be good enough. You're already good enough. And once you realize this, your self-esteem will rise and you're going to really develop rockstar confidence. Because then what's going to happen is you'll be able to live out of your true strength, to influence people for good and to step out of your comfort zone, to take risk and to ultimately, yes, achieve more success. But the greatest thing is this, is that all of the success you achieve is just going to be icing on the cake. Because although it's nice, you won't need it. You won't need that success to be fulfilled or happy. Because you already have the self-confidence and the self-esteem to know that despite all that stuff, you're already good enough.